Yoga has a huge connection to horses, but it might not be super clear to you. Yoga, by definition, means the union between mind and body. And if we really think about it, this is the goal that equestrians are trying to achieve when working with their horse, regardless of discipline, style, anything. Equestrians are looking to find connection between their mind and body and their horse's mind and body. This is exactly why yoga can be such a powerful tool for equestrians to use as they move through their equestrian life. Hi, I'm Makayla. I am a equestrian life coach. I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor, as well as someone who holds a bachelor's degree in psychology. And I have been an equestrian for over a decade, spending time in lesson programs, training barns, showing in the hunter jumper circuit, as well as owning a horse and retiring him and moving him home. So with my credentials and who I am out of the way, let's jump back into the episode. But before we do that, hit the subscribe button, follow, and now we can get right to it. So thinking about yoga and its connection to horses, the first thing that comes to mind is that without an equestrian being aware of themselves, there is no way that they can be truly aware of their horse, and this is what holds equestrians back from building connection with their horse and therefore finding success in their equestrian lifestyle. This is because if you are not connected to yourself, that means that you don't have the tools to do so, you don't know how, or it's not a regular enough practice that you do this subconsciously. Now, it can become somewhat of a subconscious thing, and when you can subconsciously check in with yourself, this is when you know that you have done the work to truly come into alignment with yourself. And this becomes really powerful as an equestrian because you will start to pick up on energy changes and shifts in your horse that you never noticed before. It'll be these little nuanced things, such as tension in specific parts of the body, or a little tiny difference in energy from one day to the next. And the more that you're able to understand your horse's energy, the better equestrian you're going to be and the more success you'll be able to find, because you'll be able to use that information as data to then make decisions off of. Now, it goes the same way for equestrians on a personal level. The more you are used to checking in with yourself and understanding what signals mean from your body, the more you can adapt your equestrian lifestyle to fit your needs. That means that instead of showing up and having a plan and then trying to commit to the plan and falling short and wondering why, you're able to show up, have a plan. Maybe you try to stick with the plan, but it's just not working, you're not feeling successful. You're able to check in, and then you'll notice, oh, I'm low on energy today. Oh, this doesn't really feel aligned, or oh, something about this is off, I need more support. Being able to notice this about yourself and notice that something feels off is where you can create change and truly cultivate an equestrian life that you love. Yoga is one of the only methods of exercise, especially in the Western world, that teaches mind-body connection because of what yoga stands for and its history. So the westernized version of yoga is more of a physical activity than it would be in a traditional format. And that's why, even though it has adapted and changed because of the Western world, it stays true to what it means in terms of yoga meaning the union between mind and body, and that's where it can be really powerful for equestrians. And it's one of those things that equestrians may get into yoga because of its cross-training purposes, and what they won't realize is they're learning to connect with themselves, and if they're not aware of it, they'll notice these changes in their horses and in the connection they have with their horse, but they won't realize why. So I am here to tell you that by doing yoga for yourself, you will see changes in your equestrian lifestyle just because of the lessons that yoga teach, whether you're aware of them or not. And so using yoga as an equestrian teaches you mindfulness skills that you can use off the mat. And not enough people realize that yoga and its lessons do not stay on the mat. They incorporate themselves into every aspect of your life. And as an equestrian, you can bank on this. You can use yoga to your advantage. So not only are you taking better care of yourself by having a yoga practice, both from the intellectual side of the philosophy as well as the physical side from the asana practice, but not only are you taking care of yourself, you're growing as an equestrian and you're not spending more time in the saddle. This is why I wish more equestrians knew about yoga. You don't have to spend more time in the saddle to build a connection with your horse. Because if you are not connected with yourself, if you don't know how to connect with yourself and tune inwards, it will not matter how much time you spend with your horse, how much time you spend in the saddle, your connection will not be able to grow exponentially. It will not be able to deepen to the level that I know you want to achieve. So if you're looking to begin to use yoga today, this is where you start. Start with a pranayama practice. It's a breathing exercise. Any breathing exercise you'd like, but really keep it simple here. As an equestrian just starting to incorporate yoga into their life, I suggest 2 to 3 minutes of intentional breathing. You can do this in the morning, you can do this at night, you can do this right before you go get your horse, but choose when you want to do it and commit to doing it every day. This is where you'll teach your body that it is safe to go inwards, that it is safe for you to connect with yourself, and you'll get better at it. Connecting with yourself is truly a skill. It is not easy, especially when you're new at it. And this is because tuning inwards can be really uncomfortable, especially if you don't do it regularly or you don't know what to expect. So things may come up that you're like, oh, I didn't know I was feeling this way. And until you've had enough practice with things coming up and kind of shocking you and then being able to let go, these things are going to be really uncomfortable. And not saying that once you're used to it, there's no discomfort ever again, but you come to almost expect it in a way. I'll give you a personal example. When I am journaling or I'm in a yoga class or I'm working with some piece of yoga philosophy and a heavy emotion comes up or a memory is triggered that isn't the greatest, I will notice it and I'll be like, ooh, interesting, that just happened. Okay. But I'm able to continue to move with the emotion and think about closing the cycle. This idea of closing the cycle, I really picked up on after reading a book called Come As You Are. And I really liked this idea of closing the cycle because it reminded me to fully feel the extent of the emotion before reacting upon it. So letting the emotion take its course rather than trying to control it. And that's what I love about yoga is it's not asking you to control anything. It's just asking you to exist, to let things happen. And I think the more equestrians practice yoga, the better they'll be at delaying reaction. And truly, this comes from having a connection between the mind and body so that you feel safe in who you are before you react to whatever stimulus is in your field of vision, in the current reality. So if you're an equestrian who wants to find success and connection with your horse, you need to start with yoga. That is my number one piece of advice. As an equestrian who found yoga after having to retire her horse, I wish I would have known what I know now when I was still competing, because I think just the knowledge and awareness of myself that I have now would have made me such a better rider than I was, because I I wasn't aware enough. I didn't know how aware I could be. And I am not shaming myself for who I used to be, but it is something that I'm really aware of. So I want to thank you so much for listening and or watching this video. If you are looking for more from Callebaut Yoga, hop onto our website, callebautyoga.com. You can see the next program we have to offer. I am actually hosting a connection workshop where I teach equestrians how to find connection in 3 steps. This will be a fully online workshop on January 24th. I am giving this workshop away for free. There are a limited number of spaces, so make sure you fill out that intake form as soon as possible. And this is the only time I'm offering this workshop for free. That is because it is the first time I'm offering this workshop, and I truly want to know if this method of teaching this content works. And so I'm going to test run it, and all I'm asking for is feedback. It's 2 hours of a workshop, and you just get to tell me what you think. So I hope to see you there, and if not, I will see you in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, night, or whenever you may be listening.